Hi everyone, I am Cristina Blajin. I'm a Salesforce consultant with Milo Massimo. We are a Salesforce CPQ partner. Today we'll discuss about quotes and specifically about the quote line editor interface. That's where you can view your quote lines and make changes across the entire quote or to individual lines. It can be accessed from the Edit Lines button on the quote record. Okay. So this is what the quote line editor interface looks like. At the moment, this quote has no line items. Still, there are a lot of things to see here. First of all, we've got the Add Products button, which is one of the most used buttons. We can make it appear conditionally and we can make it dynamic. Then we have the ability to categorize the quote lines into various groups with the help of the Add Group button, which can be important for visually organizing the page, and it can be important for our output document. And creating groups can also help create separate orders automatically. Now, the Delete Lines button, this is actually a package setting that allows to select all the lines and delete them with literally the click of a button. Let me show you where you can find it. So go to Setup and find the installed package. Salesforce CPQ, click Configure. Okay. And on the Line Editor tab, you can see here the Enable Multi-Line Delete setting. Now, let's go back to the Quote Line Editor interface and two other buttons that I'd like to talk about, Quick Save and Calculate. Now, let me first add a few products here. Let's click the Add Product button. Okay, and let's select my compilation, right? Products. Okay, the copy machine or not. Okay, select. Okay. Now, look, when we added new products to the quote, it calculated. We can see here the quote total. However, if we make a change to the quote lines, for example, on the quantity field, so let's add here a few more copy machines. Pay attention to the sum here. Net total 2000. We've changed the quantity, nothing changes here, right? Now, in this case, we need to click the Calculate button, this one, to see what the values would be if we actually saved the record. Now, here we have the quote total updated. Now, I want to draw your attention to one thing here. First, let's go to the quote record. Okay. So pay attention to the fact that net amount here is 0. Although I click Calculated, so there are no quote lines yet on this quote record. Now, this is because the Calculate button only triggers the calculation sequence. Now, let me go back to the Quote Line Editor interface and I'll click Quick Save. Now, back to the quote record, let me refresh it. Okay, so notice that the net amount is already updated. That's because the Quick Save button not only triggers the calculation sequence, but it actually does save the quote. The Quick Save button is extremely useful if your internet connection is unstable and you want to make sure that your records are updated and saved safely. Now, let's go back to the quote line editor interface and pay attention to the fact that when we click Quick Save, so what's happening? We stay in the quote line editor interface. When we click Calculate, same thing, we also stay here. But when we click Save, we leave the quote line editor interface. And if you want to go back to the quote line editor, you have to click the Edit Lines button. And now, about the fields on the quote line editor. So the first here is the field set. So it's a field set that sits under the quote information header. This is the line editor field set on quote. It contains fields displayed in Edit Lines page above the line items table. Now, with the help of the line editor field set, you can show information about the quote that is relevant to the sales rep. Here we have the start date, the end date, subscription term, and the additional discount field. And the second one here is another field set. This one lives on the quote line object, and it's called the line editor field set on quote line. So we've got here the product code, product name, quantity, and we also have a few different pricing fields, because from the sales rep perspective, pricing is usually handled on this screen. Now we've got the list unit price, net unit price, net total, and we also have the additional discount field. So there are many kinds of discounts that can be applied in Salesforce CPQ, but this is the discount that sales reps are going to be able to apply themselves. From an admin perspective, we do have a lot of control over what we can expose to the sales reps here and what's relevant to them. So these two field sets can be found in Setup on the Object Manager. So you have to go to the corresponding objects, either the quote one or to the quote line, and find the field sets section. So we are here on the Object Manager for the quote object. Here is the field set section and the line editor field set we were talking about. Let's open it. So here you can customize the field set by dragging fields to it, by removing them, right? Or you can reorder these fields if necessary. So every field that's on the quote object or on the quote line object is available for you to select here. Now, the fields you see here on the field set match all the fields that we've already seen in the quote line editor interface. So see start date, end date, subscription term, additional discount. And same story here, start date, end date, subscription term, additional discount. Now, suppose we want to remove a field. So let's remove the additional discount and let's add the partner discount field. Okay, we click Save. And as soon as we make an update to the field set in Setup, so it becomes visible on the quote line editor interface when we click Save. So let's refresh this. So voila, we have the partner discount field instead of the additional discount. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.